Oh, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I would just like to start this video off by saying I am an idiot. Okay? Seriously, I'm an idiot. So, and I just gotta laugh about it. I'm glad nothing bad happened. But, you know, I mean, now that everything's over, like, I really gotta laugh about it and say that me and Abby were very, very lucky, very, very blessed, just very, very, very lucky. The good Lord, praise Jesus, the good Lord was looking out for us last night, okay? And, okay, so story is, last night, after dark, it was raining, and we're doing some Abby's doing some redecorating or whatever in the house, so she needed some shelving boards. Sorry, I'm still dealing with a little bit of a cough, but so she needed some shelving boards. So I said, okay, well, we'll run over to Lowe's and get some shelving boards. So we go over to Lowe's, and about almost there, 3/4 of the way there or something, start feeling this vibration in the truck. Something in the front end. I'm like, Abby, you feel that? Like, that just doesn't feel right. So, and she's like, yeah, well, it progressively, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then by the time we got to Lowe's, I'm doing and granted, we had been on the 4-lane, doing 70 or whatever, or 65. I don't drive 70, but we had been doing, 60, 65, And by the time we got to Lowe's, I'm driving through the parking lot at Lowe's. Oh, and, all right, I'm sorry. Before we got there, I pulled over on the side of the road, and, I went out around on the passenger side. Now, granted, it's dark, it's raining, okay? I'm using my cell phone for a flashlight, which sucks. So, so then, it's, I didn't see anything obvious, underneath the truck. I literally just jumped out, ran around, crawled underneath the truck, and I'm looking around like, okay, is the drive shaft broke? Is the front drive shaft coming out? Or, cause it sounded like it was right in the front chunk. So anyway, all right, so we get to Lowe's, and and it's worse and worse and worse and worse. And so, get out of the truck. I don't see anything, but anyway, we go in Lowe's, get the boards. Oh, and in the meantime, I called my buddy, because me and Abby, we had the conversation. We were like, well, do we try to make it home? It's like 30 miles home. And granted, this is, 8:30 at night. I said, do we try to make it home or no? And I was like, no. Do we call a wrecker? What do we do? So I called my buddy. He had actually just come over and borrowed my trailer that day because he needed to move a vehicle somewhere. So the good Lord was looking out for him. I'm just telling you. Okay. So I called him and I said, hey man, I'm really sorry, but have you put anything on my trailer yet? And he said, no, still hooked to my truck. And I said, dude, man, I hate to ask, but something took a crap in my truck. I don't know what it is. Feels like the front drive shaft is about to fall out of the truck, or something in the front trunk. Don't feel comfortable driving home. We're over here at Lowe's. Me and Abby are over here at Lowe's. Can you come over here and pick us up? He said, yeah. He said, will the truck drive on the trailer? I said, yeah. He said, okay, I don't need to bring a winch or anything. I said, no. It'll drive on the trailer. Just, just bring my trailer over here and you know, we'll haul it behind your truck and do it, and I'll pay you, you know, for your gas or whatever. And I told him, I was like, dude, you know, if it's a no, just tell me. Like, you know, I'll call a record and no hard feelings whatsoever. No problem. Like, I completely understand. He was like, no, man, it's cool. I'll come get you. So he came over there. You know, me and Abby went in Lowe's, got the lumber, came out, loaded the truck on the trailer. I crawled up underneath it, you know, kind of felt the front drive shaft, and it had some play in it. And so I was like, okay, well, you know, I got a U-joint going out in the front drive shaft. So I said, I'll just get up tomorrow and, you know, I'll pull the drive shaft and take it, you know, and get new U-joints in it, and should be good, you know. Or I'll pull the front drive shaft and then I'll move the truck and see if it still has the same clankety clank noise, and then, you know, we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm getting to the part where I'm an idiot. So I come out this morning and underneath the truck, and I pull the front drive shaft. Okay, and I'm like, well, crap. You know, this is not the type that you can put new U-joints in, because this joint is made together and it is extremely hard. Oh yeah, my truck has a diesel leak, so I'm gonna spray this off with some brake cleaning stuff before I put it back in. But this one, it's made together like right there, and it's extremely hard to put U-joints in it. So I'm not saying you can't do it, but I've talked to a couple people and they're like, dude, the best thing to do is just buy a new drive shaft. And these are about $450 at O'Reilly's. So I would show you my garage, but my garage is an absolute mess, so I don't want to show you that. But I actually have another drive shaft that I'm pretty sure would work, because I bought it for my 99 Dodge, and my 99 Dodge is in the shop. So I was like, well, once I saw the drive shaft, I was like, well, I can take that other drive shaft that I have for my other Dodge and put it in the truck, you know, and then when I go to O'Reilly's, I'll just order another one, and when my other Dodge gets out of the shop, then I'll put that front drive shaft back in. Okay, so because that portion went out, so, and then I tried to have U-joints put in it, and the two shops that I went to, they told me, they said, no, don't worry about it. You know, just go buy you a new drive shaft. I was like, okay. But I got to spray some brake clean on that. But I checked it. This one looks fine. I'm gonna clean it up, but it looks fine. So I may replace that U-joint while I have it out, just for good measure. But anyway, so I pulled the front drive shaft, and then I'm like, okay. So I start walking around the truck, you know, and I'm just kind of, you know, looking at stuff. I'm about to crank it up and move it and see if it's got a problem. So, granted, last night, you know, I drove, and so I was on the driver's side. When I looked at the truck on the side of the road, I was on the passenger side. I came around to the passenger side. But, I mean, I just crawled underneath it and looked. And, I mean, it was dark. It was raining. I didn't really see anything, you know. So, I got back in the truck, and we drove to Lowe's. And how I didn't see this at Lowe's, I have no idea. But, anyway, so you know, I look at the brakes and stuff on the driver's side. I mean, with the tires on. I'm just doing a visual inspection with the tires on. This is after I pulled the drive shaft. Retarded, okay? You know, maybe I shouldn't say that word, but, you know, I mean, just, I'm an idiot, man. Could have saved myself 30 minutes worth of work. And then when we chained the truck down, I was on the driver's side as well. And how Abby didn't notice it, I don't know. But she wasn't looking for it. All right. Here you go. Here's the reason why I'm an idiot. Yep. There's only one lug nut holding that tire on. Yeah, that might be your problem right there. Ain't got no gas in it. Or, well, ain't got no lug nuts. So broke off that stud, you know, or they fell out. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, fell out, sheared off, gone, about to be gone. I mean, just look, you know, and then this one is just like, I got you, homie. Hey, that's my dude right there. That is my homie. Gone and sheared off and sheared off. So, hey, you're a trooper, buddy. You right here, you are a trooper. I love you. You did the best job ever. That wheel stud and that lug nut, man, I'm gonna have to put them on a shelf somewhere because they did a wonderful job. And I'm telling you, like, I mean, we drove this truck up on the trailer, chained it down, brought it home. I drove it off of the trailer. Drove it up the driveway, you know, into my driveway, and got out, walked in the house, and didn't think anything about it. Came out this morning, pulled the drive shaft, and then I walked over here, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, why didn't I just look and notice this last night? Thank God we didn't decide to drive home, you know, just try to like creep and make it home, you know. So, I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you what, I promise you, like, the good Lord was looking out for us last night. Okay, so now, not a big deal. I mean, these Dodges with the straight axle front end, it's kind of sorry, I gotta put my hood up, it's kind of cold. Oh, a secret on the Monkey Beaver hoodie: if you tear it right here underneath my beard, you have a lot more neck room. Just tear it just a little bit. You don't have to tear it like all the way down, but just tear it, you know, just a little bit. And also, it makes the hood a lot wider, so I can get it over my hard hat. And also, you know, so, but a wind coming from behind, making my ears cold. So, Dodge's straight axle front ends. Okay, so the brake rotor is actually behind the axle nut and behind the plate. So what you have to do is you have to jack the truck up, take the tire off, take the axle nut off, and it's something crazy, like a 36 millimeter or something. I don't know. I don't know the size. If you have a question, comment. But anytime you replace the brake rotors, you have to pull the axle out a couple inches, and there's 4 bolts behind the hub assembly. You have to take those off. I mean, it's a process. And then, because the studs actually go through the brake rotor from the backside, and they go through the hub. Okay, hey, actually, oh crap, my bad. I've actually got a brake rotor right here because I've done this job several times. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so here's the brake rotor. Okay, and your hub actually sits down in here. So, let me see. Trying to think of the way. Yeah. Okay, so see, there's the backside. So all the lug nuts go through there. And I'm trying to think of the way it sits on the truck. Anyway, I had these. I tried to get them turned. They couldn't be turned. They're already past minimum, so I'm throwing them in the scrap pile. But pretty sure this is the backside. So if it's sitting on the truck, it's gonna be like this. Okay. So say we're driving, you know, truck. So yeah, it's gonna be, pretty sure. Yeah, it's gonna be sitting like this. But there's a plate that sits here, and sorry, it's been a couple months since I've done one of these jobs, but there's a plate that sits here, and then the wheel studs come out from the backside back here. Okay, so you have to hammer them out that way, and then when you get your new brake rotor, hammer them back in. Okay, so Yeah. So I mean, it's not like your standard car where, now if you're just doing the pads, then you know you can just take the caliper off and replace your pads. Not a problem. But if you're replacing the brake rotor, then like I said, that's when you have to take this axle nut out. You have to pull, there's 4 bolts that hold this thing on. You have to pull those off, and then you have to pull this out, and then you can get this off, and then you have to beat the wheel studs out of it. You know, like a normal vehicle, yeah, I guess like a Honda Civic or whatever. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but you know, once you pull the tire off and you pull the caliper off, then the brake rotor it just slides off. And I mean, you know, 3 seconds, you just take it off, put the new one on, put the caliper and the pads on, and then put the wheel on, you're good, because all the studs are, you know, behind it. This one, the studs are made into the brake rotor. So, I don't know what other year models or whatever, but I know like 95 straight axle Dodge, that's how they're made. I've got 4 of them. Not 95s. I got 2 97s, a 98, and a 99. I've got 2 12-valve Cummins and 2 24-valve Cummins, and they all have the same front axle. And I don't know if it's the same ratios, but they have all the same front axle and everything. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a job. It's not that bad. But, oh, and the first time you ever take that axle nut off, man, it is torqued to just god-awful amount. It sucked the first time I took it off. Oh, and there's a keeper pin in there. So, yeah. But, maybe I'll film part of that. I don't know. I'll probably come back once I take the tire off and show you what I'm talking about. All right, well, let me get it jacked up, and I got to charge my phone some, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hey, be back in a second. What's up, guys? All right, so back. It's Sunday. Just got home from church. And so I got the tire off, and yeah, it was a problem. So Snowball's gonna say hello, and then I'm gonna explain what the issue was. Okay. Say hello, Snowball. Okay, good job. All right, so this is what it's supposed to look like. You got your axle nut. This is your axle. Keeper pin, whatever, cotter pin. Hey, Snowball. Lug studs, you know, wheel studs, whatever. Then your brake rotor back here. And then this right here. So, the wheel studs actually come through the brake rotor, you know, through this plate into here. Okay. Oh, crap. Hold on. I forgot something. Okay, now, behind this, back here, there are 4 of these bolts. Okay? They go in like that, back here, and they hold all of this on. Okay? So you take your axle nut off, or well, take, you know, this sorry, take your brake caliper off, take your axle nut off. Okay, then they're back here. Yeah, you can see one right there. Okay, so they're right there. So they go through like that. Take the 4 of those out, and then you can pull, this whole assembly comes off as one. Okay, now, hello, Snowball. I'm gonna show you the other side. Yeah, see a problem? All right. Yeah, and I think it was this one. Might have been that one. No, it was either this one or this one. That was the homie that got us home. Because this one was the one that was just like hand tight. No, that one's two. It might have been that one. I don't know. But anyway, so the entire inside of this rotor just let go. Okay. So, hey, guys, look. I don't claim to be a mechanic. I mean, I tell folks I'm a tree guy, you know. And I don't claim to be a tree expert. There are many, many, many people out there that know trees a lot better than I do. But, I own 4 late 90s Dodges. I've got 2 97s. This one's a 97. I've got another truck exactly like this. Exactly like this, except the color is different and the bed's different. That's all it is. Well, they're both long wheelbase. One of them's got a regular bed and one of them's got a flat bed. This one's got a flat bed. Okay. Then I've got a 98 1-ton 24 valve Cummins, and I've got a 99 1-ton 24 valve Cummins. And then my 2 97s are both 12 valve Cummins. So I've done this brake job 15, 20 times at least. Just put brand new brakes on the front of this truck about 3-4 months ago. This rotor is maybe 4 months old. Okay. This was not a rotor that I got turned and I put back on the truck. No, I bought a brand new rotor for each side. And so, like, yes, I drive older stuff to do my tree work. But the reason why I do that is to save money, and I know how to work on these trucks. All 4 of my trucks take the same oil filter. I've got an entire spare front axle that I picked up cheap out of a junkyard. All 4 of my trucks, they have the same front. It's a little different when you go from the 3/4 ton to the 1 ton. The ratios are different, and so, and the front axle is made just a little bit different, but it all comes apart and goes back together pretty much the same. So I don't deal with all the government deaf stuff, that little blue knob. No, I don't deal with that. Tags are cheap, insurance is cheap. So, well, insurance is not cheap, but it's cheaper. So, anyway, but what I'm trying to say is I don't want you to think that my stuff is unreliable. And we maintain it. We take care of it. I check the oil in it. Yes, this truck right here has got 450,000 miles on it. It burns a little oil. Hey, when you get that many miles on you, I guarantee you're going to have a couple leaks. You're going to burn a little oil yourself. Just saying. All right. So, but I take care of it. So, but it's not some piece of junk that I got out of a back pasture somewhere. It's a good truck and we take care of it and we maintain it. Like I said, I did this brake job 3-4 months ago. Use the brake pads. Look, nothing wrong with that. That one is kind of goofed up because it had a pad just going nuts beside it. So, anyway, but back to what I was saying. So, generally when you do this, you take your axle nut off, you pull these 4 bolts out, and then you take this whole thing and you bring it off. Okay. So I can't do that because, and I'll tell you why. Right. Okay. So see, it messed all this stuff up. This is the one that I got out. I hope I don't have to replace that wheel bearing. I probably will. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably replace that wheel bearing while I'm in here. the hub assembly. That's what this piece is called. It's called the hub assembly. This is generally up here, like that other one. So let me go. I don't know if you can see right here. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace this hub assembly. Crap. All right. I guess it doesn't really matter now, but when this rotor came around, it beat the piss out of the tips of these bolts. See how it's got that tapered tip? Well, it just beat the crap out of them. And there's another one down there that's even worse. And they're all cattywampus. I'm sorry. Okay, give you one more look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut this off with a torch. And here's the reason why. What I was saying, it beat the crap out of the tip of these bolts. Well, now I can't unscrew these bolts because this tip is past the threads, and whenever I try to unscrew them, it's like they're crooked, essentially. Okay, the tip is, wider than the shaft. I mean, it's the only way I know to say it. So I'm gonna have to cut the brake caliper off. I'm gonna have to cut the end of these bolts off, and then get them out or grind them down. Grind down the parts that are, if I can get it to focus, grind down the parts that are wider, and then, like I said, this is the only one I could get out. I went to 3 different parts stores yesterday. I went to O'Reilly's, another local parts store that has an amazing nuts and bolts section. And I went to Napa, and yeah, O'Reilly said they had like 10 of them in stock. They went to looking for them, and they didn't have them. Okay, so I went to another parts store, and I guarantee they got them, but the lady that was there was not really her normal section, and she's not very good at that section, so she really didn't know. So I was like, okay. So then I went to Napa, and Napa did not have these, but they had the wheel studs. So, and they had the lug nuts. So I got the lug nuts and I got the wheel studs, but I got to go back to the other parts store tomorrow and try to get, these. And last time I did this, I had an issue with some wheel studs at one point in time, and I had the exact same problem. Like I said, this is a 97 Dodge 2500 12 valve Cummins, straight axle front end. And I'm gonna tell you, if you find wheel studs for it, I mean, I haven't really searched the internet, like Rock Auto or whatever, but just my local stores, they're really hard to find. So I don't know, maybe somebody out there has a better idea than I do. Maybe you can clue me in. Would love for you to. Feel free to, comment below. But so I was planning on redoing the brakes. I said, well, while I got it torn down, I'm gonna go ahead and redo the brakes, even though I just did them. But now, I mean, I took it apart and the brakes are brand new, and then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I did just do that like 4 months ago. So I could look back at my maintenance list and see how many miles I've put on it, how many miles these brakes actually have on them. I've never seen a caliper do this. This is, man, I mean, it must be just one off. I've never had one do it. So, but I have a spare caliper that I took off from, an old brake job that I took to the shop and I got turned. So, and there's obviously the one on the other side is still pretty much brand new. So, but I've never had this happen, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, the good Lord was looking out for us. It was really, really, really looking out for us. So, Yeah. Me and Abby, I'm probably not going to work on this today. Uh, like I said, all the part stores and everything are closed. It's Sunday. I mean, O'Reilly's is open, but, you know. But Abby's got some projects in the house that she needs my help with. And also, you know, I want to spend time with my kids. They go back to school tomorrow. So, you know, I got to help her hang some shelves. And then John Ross wants to play some video games or something. And then Abby's cooking, she's making some kind of pasta for lunch. I don't know. So I've got other work that I need to do. Plus I got to sharpen some chains. Man, it's crazy. But just, yeah, this has been the year for breakdowns. And like I said, I mean, we keep everything maintenance, but it's just, for some reason, like breakdowns. Every time I turn around, something is breaking down. And the list is way too long to go through. But my wife's stump grinder. It's a 2018. The clutch went out. You know, it's got 500 hours on it. So, this happened. The dump trailer had to rebuild an axle on it. Twice, actually. That sucked. That was expensive. What else? Oh, also the stump grinder. Abby's front bearings went out. Yeah, that also sucked. That was expensive. And I mean, she greases it religiously. You know, I mean, that's her daily routine when she runs that machine is check oil, check the grease, you know, or check the oil, you know, grease the machine. So, you know, I don't know. I felt like this year I haven't really done any tree work. My crew has done a lot of tree work. I have been a full-time mechanic. But I mean, I've got 4 pickups, a bucket truck, you know, a stump grinder, 4 trailers, tractor and a chipper. And so it's, you know, I mean, when you have that much, I mean, I mean, things, you know, things just happen, I guess. So, aside from like the careless crap, and I'm not mad about this. Like, this is just one of those things that just, it is what it is. Thank God the good Lord took care of me. What I really get irritated about is the careless stuff. Like, people that just get in a truck, they don't check the oil. They don't, you know, do a walk-around inspection. They don't, you know, do their pre-trip, their post-trip. Like, those are the things that really, really, really just irritate me. You know, or they're not paying attention where they're going and they back into a truck. You know, whatever. I'm not even going to get into it. But anyway, hey, look. So, like I said, I'm not a mechanic, but I was just letting you know, thank the good Lord. And then I'm going to do a part 2 to this where I tear this down and rebuild it and show y'all that. So, yeah. And then also I'll do a tool, all the tools that it took to do the job at the end of that video. So, hey, thank y'all very much. Appreciate you. Yeah, and all I can say is that man, thank you, Jesus. Like, literally, thank you, Lord, because, you know, I mean, me and Abby, we were doing 65, you know, 60, 65 down the highway in this truck. And, if that wheel had come off doing that, you know, and I mean, we were in traffic, you know, I mean, good God, that would have been bad. That would have been horrible. So, I mean, just I'm thankful that now I still have a truck to work on instead of, you know, cleaning a truck out of a wrecker yard. So, yeah, praise the good Lord for that. And man, if you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, then you know, you really need to reconsider your options. I mean, it's you know, if you have some questions on it, holler at me. I'll be glad to talk to you. I mean, I'm not trying to Bible thump anybody. I'm just telling you, you know, like, I think it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian. So, I don't know how you can look at all this and, you know, think that we don't have a, you know, a divine creator. So, anyway, well, I've talked long enough. So, hey, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. You know, and we just got to keep going day by day. Day by day, and when I get this done, there'll be something else I got to do, I'm sure. And there's plenty of things behind this right now, so still got to fix her stump grinder. So, yeah. Well, thank you, and deuces, homies.